back again from Miss Maker. Today's video is all about taking that first stitch. You've got your brand new sewing machine, you've taken it out the box, you've got it popped in front of you, and then it's what do I do next? How do I thread this thing? So we're going to run through a couple of different variations just to make sure that you've got everything you need to get all threaded up and ready to stitch. So to set our machine up all ready for sewing, we're first going to wind a bobbin. The large spool of thread goes onto the pin at the top of the machine. Sometimes your pin will face straight upwards, sometimes it will be horizontal like this one. To start winding a bobbin, you're going to follow the dotted line that's on top of the machine. Most machines have a little guide. The solid line is how to thread down to the needle, the dotted line is how to thread to wind a bobbin. So I've followed that little dotted line, we'll show that for you. And then I'm going to pop the end of the thread through the bobbin from the inside up towards the outside. There are little holes on the side of your bobbin, and I'm going to pop that thread through so that it comes up and out of the top of the bobbin. The bobbin then goes down onto the little bobbin pin, and on this machine, just by clicking across, that will tell the sewing machine that I am hoping to wind a bobbin. On some other machines you will be able to click out the hand wheel as well in order to tell the machine that you're going to wind a bobbin. It's worth double checking which make and model you have. To wind the bobbin, once this is clicked across, you simply press the treadle and it will start to move. You hold on really tight to that little thread until you can see there's a little bit of thread on that bobbin there, and then you would simply cut that thread off and continue to wind your bobbin until it's all wound up completely. So we'll put a little bit onto this one, and you can go as fast as you like with that. Now that we've got a little bit of thread onto there, I'm going to click it back across this way, so I then can take the bobbin off the little bobbin pin and I unwind it from that initial bobbin threading. So we've got the bobbin there ready to pop into the machine in just a little bit. We're then going to start the threading process again, and this time we're travelling down towards the needle. So for this machine it's the same starting point and it comes round the back, and most sewing machines have this same down, up, down way of moving the thread down towards the needle. Now just inside here, I'm going to do that again for you, just inside here there's a little thread arm, a little metal arm that takes the thread, and I'll wind it down and up so you can see at a certain point you'll be able to see it clearly, and that's when to pop your thread behind and make sure it catches round that thread arm before you bring it back down to the needle. There's normally a little piece of wire or a little piece of metal that you pop the thread behind before you then reach the needle. It just holds that thread nicely above the needle, avoids any little tangles. Now at this point you can simply thread the needle by popping it through the eye of the needle, or if your machine has a needle threader, you would bring the needle threader down, all the way down, loop the thread behind and just make sure it catches through that needle, and then let the needle threader do all the work and thread your needle for you. If you have got a needle threader, then great, it's a really good idea to get to know that well. If you haven't, then just pop it through the eye of the needle and your top thread will then be ready to sew. Our little bobbin, get rid of that long thread that we held on to as we were winding it. Now the bobbin is going to pop into the little bobbin casing down here. Now there's a couple of different variations. This is a top loading bobbin, so your bobbin simply drops in, and there's a nice little handy diagram just here to show me that the bobbin wants to be turning anti-clockwise when I do this. There's another variation, a bottom loading bobbin, and if I just show you that, the bobbin is going to drop in turning clockwise, and it just goes behind the two little tension plates, and then you push it back in, little arm facing upwards, just like this. The best way to tell if you've got that bobbin in properly is to give it just a gentle pull, and if you can feel that it's not just running through freely, it's got a little bit of resistance, then that's absolutely perfect. I can pop this little lid back on again now, and I'm going to bring my bobbin thread up above my needle plates here using my top thread. I'm going to turn the hand wheel, and you always turn the hand wheel on a sewing machine so your thumb is coming over towards you. That keeps the machine always working in the same direction. If you turn it backwards, you get tangles underneath. So always turn your machine in the same direction it would normally work in. The needle goes all the way down to its lowest point and all the way back up to its highest point. At that point I can see that my top thread has run round my bobbin, picked up a little loop of bobbin thread, a gentle pull on the top thread brings that loop up for me, and I just gently pull that one all the way through as well. Tidy my threads underneath my presser foot, pop them out towards the back of the machine nice and long to stop your needle unthreading as you stitch, and that's our machine all threaded up and ready to sew.